Good morning, everybody. Lovely to be with you out on the Derwent. We've had minimal sleep, but that is okay because we are about to hook in to the mini-maxi fleet who are somewhat becalmed in the Derwent and bring them into the finish. It is now exceptionally close between Stefan racing the Voten 80 and Willow, the Volvo 70. Alive RP66 is in the distance. Moneypenny, the RP69, has just overtaken URM. And it's all on for young and old as we wait for this westerly breeze to get to the mini-maxis. It could take a little while. It might be very quick. We're not quite sure, but we're out here and we are live, powered by Musto. Thank you so much. And of course, to the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania for giving this amazing vessel, which is actually one of their race committee vessels. So very, very thankful to them and for all the work that all the volunteers are doing behind the scenes from both the CYC and of course the RYCT. So we'll just get Marine, I think, to pan out to the right here. We've got Wendell out with us and of course Shieldsy, my Hobart dad, on the helm. And you can see here the beautiful sunrise and also how little breeze there is right now. But it's absolutely glorious. Willow is actually on port tack and Stefan is on starboard tack. You can see in the screen there. We'll come in a little bit closer to them, but the westerly is here. So we're just about to see them get this westerly and head into the finish. So we're then going to, ladies and gentlemen, work out how to make this work in terms of who we interview on the dock, which finishes we get. So you will have to bear with us as we juggle that across the course of the day, because not only do we have these boats coming into the finish now, the TP52s will finish later on. And at the moment, there are TP52s at the top of the IRC leaderboard like you wouldn't believe. Moneypenny is leading on IRC 0, but on IRC overall, at the moment, it's Celestial TP52, Guelo TP52, Warrior 1 TP52, Caro, Botan 52, Quest TP52, Patrice TP52, Smuggler TP52, Zen TP52, and then thank goodness that Bruce Taylor and his TP40 are in 9th to break that pattern of TP52s. Hutzbar is in 9th on IRC at the moment, but this is just absolutely glorious light. They're now both on port tack. Willow's gotten the header, the westerly is coming in. And we're so excited, even though we've had no sleep. Thank you, Shieldsy, for going and getting us coffee before we came on the water. If you don't know Shieldsy, you should. Everyone needs a Shieldsy in their life. This is just absolutely stunning. You can see behind us, this point in the distance is 2 nautical miles to the finish. So there's still a little ways to go, but once they do get this westerly, they will accelerate. They've been doing anywhere from 18 knots to 0 in the past half an hour, so it's made intercepting them incredibly difficult. But my goodness, the shadow on the water just here is absolutely beautiful, even though they're all but becalmed. I might have to take a sneaky photo for myself here. Just beautiful. Oh, amazing. And here you can see the team, Wendell, Teodoro. And I've just had a question asked of me live. Were there any protests last night as we see Willow flick over onto starboard again, as does Stefan? Were there any protests last night? No. And the question was asked of John Winning, are you still going to protest? Because they still had their flag up coming into the Derwent. They actually dropped their flag as they reached the dock and they said, well, would you protest if you were leading or winning? And the answer was no. So we don't even know what that original protest was about in the harbour. But we know that they did win and there's no protest so far, which I appreciate, because there's the worst place to be in Hobart is on those steps outside that committee room. As much as I love the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, I hate sitting on those steps. Those steps are crap. Exactly. The bar's all right, says Shieldsy, and I agree. But unfortunately, last year we had to spend a lot of time on the steps. This year I'd like to spend a lot of time on the Derwent. Oh, it's so good to be out here and to be live and to have our amazing Andrew God back in the studio. Thank you for keeping us running. And while we're coming into Willow and there's not much wind, we're going to think about getting an interview queued up with Daryl Whistling that we did before the start. He's a good mate of mine and he was about to fly home for Christmas to New Zealand. And given that there's not much wind right now, we might actually look to roll that interview. But if you look up the mast here, you can see somebody's actually at the headboard. I'm going to point to it for you. Right here, there's somebody up the mast spotting breeze and trying to make sure that these guys are on the right angle of sail. But there's Willow to leeward now and Stefan to windward. This is all about to change when the westerly gets to them. You want a photo?
I want to be
Oh, we're going to B-roll. Okay, cool. Sorry, Marina's just talking to me, ladies and gents, and we're going to swap. I'm going to get on the live cam because, you know, I know you're on last night. They're going for attack slash jibe slash we're not sure what, because there's not much wind, as you can see here. So we're going to get that interview ready with Daryl Whistling, and we're going to roll it. Here's Daryl Whistling on the dock at the CYC before the start of the 77th edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart. This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl on the dock at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. I've managed to run into one of my good friends who's been very busy, Daryl Whistling. You're on Willow. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's been a good month of prep. We started with the cabbage tree and then the Aussie maxi champs and then had a little break, did some work on the boat and then came back last week and it's been hitting out since then. And obviously the southerly was, you know, fairly breezy, and we had a couple of good days outside the heads having a burn around.
Perfect. And I know that you guys are looking very, very slick on the boat. Is that down to the fact that you've done all of this lead up?
Oh yeah, it's not the first time the guys have sailed the boat. Yeah. You know, most of them have been there before, so you know, just getting used to the boat again and going through the manoeuvres. You know, we're all professionals, so it's yeah, it's been amazing. The team's gelled really well.
That is so awesome. And given the forecast, everyone's like watching how soon that southerly front will come through after the northerlies, and it's all a matter of timing. But if it comes through a little bit more quickly than expected, you are the right size to go incredibly well on IRC.
Yeah, look, you know, we've got probably an outside chance, and we've just got to get down there in good shape, and you know, obviously to finish first you got to finish, yeah. And that's you know, that's a big thing, and it could easily be, you know, 5-10 knots more than the forecast. You never know. We'll be prepared.
100%. And I know Willow didn't get to go last year. I had interviewed Jim Cooney. I'm like, oh, did I jinx him? Because he was so excited to go south. So I'm guessing there's that feeling of anticipation on board as well.
Yeah, totally. And you know, we said today there's, you know, pretty much nothing stopping us. We've had a few issues along the way during the week with mechanical stuff, but that's all sorted and running really smoothly now. And Bicey actually texted me a couple of days ago saying, oh, bags packed. Anyone got COVID yet? And I said, mate, you're not here, so no one's going to get it. We're good. So you know, it will be nice. You know, I've been over here. This is the third year in a row with Jim trying to do the race. Obviously, first year got called off with COVID, and then you know, a few of the guys got COVID last year on the boat, so we couldn't go. So you know, here we are again for the third time lucky, as they say.
Third time lucky, and hopefully I'll see you in Hobart for a catch-up interview at the other end to see how you went.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick.
You're very welcome. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So great to have you with us. If you've just joined us, we are on a very, very, very shut down Derwent. Willow have just sailed out of the easterly breeze. Over my shoulder, you can see the RP66 alive in the distance. Coming into the river, we have Moneypenny and also URM. And if I pan back around to this side, we have Stefan, who were quite a ways in front of Willow. They're flicking in and out of westerly and easterly puff at the moment. And the race of the mini-maxis is on for young and old. I can see that westerly. Not sure if you can see it on your Venturers, but there's a line just up there. And fingers crossed, we see it fill in soon. Here's Wendell shooting. It is absolutely glorious for photos though, so we'll keep you posted on that. As we come in to leeward of Stefan, we're being incredibly careful here to not affect them negatively. In the same way that we weren't shining lights on them last night, we don't want to create waves for them today. This is because if we shine lights on them, they can't see. If we give them waves, it actually hinders them in some way or could assist them in some way. And basically, we just don't want to get involved with the racing. We don't want to be responsible for anybody being advantaged or disadvantaged in this race, because that's not what we're about here at Adventures of a Sailor Girl. We're here to bring you the best coverage we can, not to interfere with the racing. Now to leeward of boat 80, Stefan Racing. Turts looks good on the bow up there. Look at him, looking hot up near the shroud. David Turton, burger waving in the cockpit, looking good. Xavier right on the bow. Hi, Xavier. It's so good. They're actually heating up. This westerly is coming. I really want to be with them when they get it. Just starting to feel it now. Warrow on the helm. Looks like they're managing to get to it before Willow. Meanwhile, Alive has managed to stay in some sort of channel of breeze. Sorry, Marina just stomped on her, and she's so little that I probably could have killed her. They've managed to stay in breeze on the outside. That RP66 is very slippery compared to these fat bottom boat 80s and Volvo 70s. Cool. There's 10 knots on the dock right now, ladies and gents, and I'm not sure if you can see it just on the right side of your frame. The flags at Constitution Dock are absolutely flapping their hearts out, so they will get breeze here. But what's happening essentially is the easterly or the southeasterly that's to leeward of these boats or back up the river has not managed to get onto this gradient breeze. So we've got no breeze in the middle. It's just causing a little bit of disruption. Really, I can almost touch it, I can almost feel it, but these guys are set up now for that westerly breeze. And I think that the boat 80 is starting to feel it. And as soon as they get it, they'll be on their side and absolutely ripping towards that finish. We're about 3 nautical miles from the finish.
This is like that.
Here we go. I can see it filling. It's almost 15 knots, I think, on the water, 10 to 15.
Like that is
Yeah. Lisa, where? Oh, there she is.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Lisa was trying to get my attention. I couldn't see her. They're actually all up on the bow here. Here comes a bit of a header, but it looks like a bit of breeze too. Oh, it's hot too. I just felt the hot air, everybody. That's that westerly. And we're going to see this boat take off any second. I can feel it. It's hot. It's really hot in the air. It's so bizarre. Here we go. Woohoo! Breeze, 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 breeze. And they're tacking. Should get a little bit of a head bump here. You could just feel the temperature change from that southerly to that westerly because we're in between the two breezes. I'll have to take my jacket off in a second. And off they go. They've actually just canted that keel to give them a little bit of a pump down is what they were doing, not tacking. It looked like a tack. Willow's trying to get over onto starboard to take advantage of it. But I can see that this breeze is going to fill in any second, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined us, we're powered by Musto out here on a very quiet tour that's about to get breezier as these mini-maxis sail into the westerly. We've been in a convergence zone with no breeze in between what was offshore and what is inshore. And here we go. Boat 80 taking off. They're in the pressure. We're about 3 nautical miles from the finish line, and we'll be with Stefan all the way into the finish. Willow just behind, RP66 Alive just further back, Moneypenny, URM. We're going to try and be live for as many as we can be. They're going to get a bit of a head bump here. Here we go. Woo-hoo! Can you hear that noise? So good. Going for attack. Here's the pressure, ladies and gentlemen. Check that out as they tack over. And we're in a good 12 to 15 knots now. The current is also not so much in their favour. Willow's got it too. The race is on here for the battle between the 80 and the 70. Moneypenny continues to lead in this division on IRC. And there you can see the two boats lined up. Great driving from Shieldsy to make sure you can see where they are situated. Get that headsail on, ladies and gents. That's better. Need a bit of rig tension now. Yoo-hoo! Okay, everyone on the row. It's very puffy out here. You can just see the lens of Wendell in the foreground of our shot, which is fantastic. We'll see those shots a little later. Woo! Willow down to leeward. So far we've been live for the line honours finish of Comanche, and we've interviewed them, and as well as Law Connect, who was second, then Blackjack, who were third. You may have seen that I just uploaded our interview with Rico. We weren't live, but we did catch up with Wild Oats on the dock, and now we're here with the next lot of boats. We had about 2 hours sleep last night at best. Looks like they're getting ready to unfurl a second headsail, or maybe to do a change here. Curtis Skinner most forward on the bow, Xavier Dewar just behind him. Turton standing up on deck and trying to cool down because he's got so much hair on his face that he needs a bit of breeze. More pressure coming, says Shieldsy. This gradient is really filling in. We're not quite sure if they should be pulling out that sail, but hell or high water, Warrow's going to beat this Volvo 70 into the finish line, I reckon. Meanwhile, sneaky, Slippery Alive, which is a local boat and won in 2018 overall, is doing exceptionally well out on the right-hand side of the Derwent. Looking fantastic out here as we fill into some breeze. Here they go for a deploy, I think, or are they putting it away? They might be putting it away to get low drag, I think, actually. They've dropped that headsail down. Yeah, I don't need it, exactly. Yeah, more pressure coming, almost up to 20 knots, I would say. Willow to leeward. Can Willow make some gains here? They're fully pumped. I can see the forestay on Willow flogging from up here, ladies and gents. Absolutely crazy. And we are getting wet out here. I'm so glad we got wet weather kit on. Yeah, a flogging mainsail on Willow down to leeward. Lisa up on the bow, helping put that headsail away with Xavier. What a champ. Her first Hobart. It's been a blinder. Great job. I swear that mainsail on Willow is flogging more than my flag above my head. And here we can see the mainsail on Stefan also flogging. I think ideally both these teams would want to have a reef in now. It's about 20 knots, you reckon? Just going to flick around here so you can see the whitecaps through the cockpit of the Royal Tasmanian, or Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania start boat. It is breeze on coming into the finish. We've literally just gone from 0 knots on the Derwent to 20, though it was honking at Constitution Dock when we left, so we just had to, we literally got extra bonus time to drink our coffee, I think, so. Woo! Yay! Lisa giving us a big wave there. I feel like I'm going to have to clean the camera. Stay with us, ladies and gents. This is high technology here. There we go. Good job. We're in the cockpit now. Marine filming in the cockpit. She's clearly a fair weather sailor, this one. They're just coming across to Willow's line here, so I might take it. We're about to have a meet here, so show you guys what's happening here. Stefan is to get across Willow, the Volvo 70's bow here. So this is a tactical play here by Warro. Even though it may not mean much on IRC, there's something that comes over you when there's a boat that could potentially take some time out of you, especially when you've just raced 620 mile. You're not going to give an inch. Looks like Willow have gone for that reef, as I mentioned before. If I was these guys, I'd want to reef in. You can see just how windy it is out here now. Heeling over on Stefan. Oh, they're going to see some keel here, 25 knots. Reckon it's 25 knots. You. So good. Just shows you how quickly it can change and how on top of the weather you need to be, ladies and gentlemen. We all came out in full wet weather kit, and that was for a reason. Forecasts are important. And I know you've got a little bit of the cockpit in your view there, but I'm just trying to keep our kit as dry as we can. This is just the first of many finishes today. But I can tell you that Alive, Moneypenny and URM are not in this breeze yet. This breeze is still in a very, very strong line, about 2 nautical miles from the finish. So these guys are extending over those boats behind them right now. Willow going for an even bigger reef. You can see them winding down there. Folks. Woohoo! Who thought we were going to have 25, 30 knots of west on the Derwent today? Whoa! They just ran to the rig. They're going for a reef, I think. That was the halyard coming off when you saw the mast jolt forward like that. Effectively, what going for a reef is minimizing the sail area. Why that's important is to make sure that they are not wasting energy. So once it gets windy, you want to start minimizing the drag area of the sail, and they're doing a great job of that right now. And essentially that's just so in the end you can feel safe and feel in control. That's what is important with sailing, because the more in control you are of your vessel, the faster you will go relative to the other boats around you. And Willow has gone for that second reef just off our stern, and they are smoking out to the right-hand side of the Derwent here. You can see the forte flogging. They don't have enough rig tension on. Oh, I'd be feeling a bit uncomfortable if I was on board right now. That rig is moving like nothing else. This is probably, well, no, sorry. This is the most upwind that they have had to do in this race. It has been downwind the entire way. And as many a sailor will know, that is not often in a 600-mile race. And this is probably the most uncomfortable and on their edge they've felt for the entire event. Oh my goodness, they're going to want some beer when they get in today. We have got a stack of waves. I've spin to windward so you can see how windy it is. We're pushing 30 now. I'll just show you. This is what it looks like to windward. I'm trying to protect you to leeward here. We're getting hammered. Miranda's like, how did this happen? She laughed at me when I said to bring a jacket. Your seat's getting wet, Shieldsy. No. Oh, okay. We've got about 1.8 nautical miles to go to a finish. They're going for a tack, Shieldsy. Perfect. Oh, so we're going to stop and let them come to us because we're getting hammered going upwind into these waves. Bearing away now. Watch her go sideways. Yeah, we might try and go to windward or to leeward, whichever you prefer, Shieldsy. I'm with you, buddy. Yeah, great idea. The drier you can keep me, the better. I'm a fair weather sailor, mate. Too old for this. Kidding. I love it when it's wet and windy. It's absolutely my favourite condition. Now, as I was mentioning, the reason why they go sideways in the tack is because the boat is heeled over and they don't have enough righting moment. So you feel a big whoopsie-doo out of the tack. You see it's so windy that the jackets are flying on board now. Anyone who didn't get a chance to zip up their jacket is really regretting it right now. Check out the size of these waves. Whoosh! Whoosh! Oh, we are getting hammered. We are getting hammered. Update on Alive and the other mini-maxis that aren't in this pressure. They aren't in this pressure. There is a significant pressure line, and Stefan and Willow have managed to get into the land breeze, which is a good 25 knots, and the others are sitting in nothing. Willow looks like they're going for another reef. That's how windy it is, going for a third reef. It's like they're crossing Bass Strait coming up the Derwent. Woohoo! Loving this, and I'm not sure how you guys are going with this coverage. I hope it's going okay. I can't see your comments, but every now and again Andrew does feed them to me in my ear, so if there's any burning questions, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer you, but I can't actually see them from out here because we do have a bit of a different setup this year. It doesn't mean I don't want to hear from you, so please let me know how you're going. Please let me know. Whoa! Just got a wave over the whole cockpit. Copy. We're going to try tacking upwind a bit, I think, just to keep us a bit drier. Willow's going for that third reef. I don't think I can hear you very well, Andrew. Copy that. How are the comments going? Copy that. Excellent. Apparently all the comments are positive, so that's positive. Thanks everybody. It's a pleasure to have you out here. I have to mention that my Musto wet weather kit is very much appreciated right now. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a fashion show. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And Maureen is going to clean my screen. Hello, Maureen. I got it. That's why I wear these. It's all right. This is perfect. Got it. Yeah. I'm going to switch the GoPro off. Alrighty. Oh, it's a long slog. We're only about a nautical mile and a half from the finish line, but it is upwind. Willow is looking hot coming out of that right-hand side. Stefan Racing is trying to go and cover them, and we are getting absolutely pounded heading upwind here, ladies and gents. So we will do our best. Basically, we're just heading straight to the finish line so that we can be with them there. And then we'll do our best to get some interviews before we head out to tap in with Alive, Moneypenny, and URM, who are all about to get some breeze, I would say. Oh, such weird light too, this westerly. So basically what's going to happen all day today, this is the start of the southerly front. This breeze will cock all the way from the west where it's blowing now, all the way into the south. The little boats will get hammered in this, and this is where we'll see the IRC results really start to come into play. This is how windy it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is our wake blowing off here. And then the little boats will get hammered, so we'll see those IRC results really lock in. As I mentioned, the top 8 are TP52s, followed by the, oh my gosh, Stefan Racing has just torn the headsail. Put a headsail on Stefan Racing. There's a big tear all the way through that jib. Willow, the Volvo 70 is here for the taking. Will they go for a headsail change here? I think they're going to have to. It's absolutely flogging its guts out. Oh, we might see a line on his lead change here right at the end. They were doing everything they could to cover. Just a little bit up on the headsail there in 25, 30 knots of breeze in this westerly as it built. And Willow has gone for that bigger reef as well. They'll probably sail to leeward of Stefan here. We're doing our best to get ourselves in position whilst looking after all of our equipment here, ladies and gentlemen. I reckon we try and cross their bow if we've got enough room, but I don't want to kill us. If we can't do it, go behind them.
Big waves coming.
Yep, big waves coming. Here comes Stefan. Here comes Willow. Will Willow just sail straight through to leeward? Oh my goodness, look at that headsail. It's absolutely shredded. It's going to tear all the way through to the foil now. It's about to pop. It's literally hanging on by a thread. There it goes. It's literally popped right through the forestay. Unbelievable action here, Shieldsy. You are a legend to get us right in here close as we potentially see a lead change here. Willow 70 was rigged and ready for this breeze. They took the time to shake down that reef, and now they are feeling nice and pretty and steady. As I mentioned, the more in control you feel, the faster you go. And Stefan Racing have blown their headsail up in the last stages of this race into Hobart. Big waves here. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Daryl Whistling up the back having a chat with Jim Cooney. They're talking about what they're going to do next. They can't tack yet. Oh, that's a real shame. There's that headsail tear. That is a real shame. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Trying to get you the best view possible of this, ladies and gents. It's quite breezy. I'm just going to look through the cockpit here for a second. Sorry that so jerky. Unbelievable. We're in a submarine heading towards the finish line here. Marine is crying again. This is the news, or not the news, of our Hobart. Marine is crying. Yep. Trying really hard, guys, to get you a shot. As you can see, it's so wet over here. Just doing my best. Oh. Okay. It's rough out here. Trying so hard to get you a shot here, guys. Wendell just getting a photo here as well. Looking up the rig. Great work, Shieldsy. You can see the leech line is just hanging on, but that is a massive, massive tear just there. Yeah, I think I'd be trying to get it down, but I don't think there's a luff line, but it would be so hard to get it down right now. And they're just near the finish. I think they're just trying to hold on so that they can make it stick. We're going to try and get up to Willow for you guys. I know that I said we try not to interfere, but given how windy it is, I really don't think this is going to bother them too much. We're on the plane now at least, so it's a little bit more comfortable on board. Yoo-hoo! My flag just fell off. Casualty out here. It's very emotional out here. We've had laughing, we've had crying. I'm trying to get Willow on the screen now. They're not far to the finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Going to try and call this as best for you while still filming, so please bear with me. But I have to say big shout out to the whole crew on board Willow. Jim Cooney is doing his 11th Hobart. Andrew Cape, the navigator, is doing his 20th. You can see him on the rail there. And the rest of the crew, DB, David Burt, Douglas Cooney, James Cooney, David Gilmore, Samantha Grant, his daughter, Edward Hackney, Robbie Kane, Josh McKnight, Joey Newton, Corrado, Rosignoli, Timothy, Martin Stromberg, and Daryl Whistling, all on board as we come into the finish. Willow 70 beats Stefan Racing across the line in a dramatic finish to the 77th edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart for the mini-maxis. This is all going to be all on the table for Division 0 here, as we don't expect the maxis to take a top-notch position, as these mini-maxis were so close. And here is Stefan Racing limping in now with that absolutely massacred headsail. Oh, they've got to be feeling a little bit sad to have blown that up right at the end there. Big shout out to our rescue team from the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania. Oh my goodness, that was absolutely intense. We're in the shadow now of Constitution Dock. It's a little bit flatter. We'll probably have to try and stay a bit close to the finish, but here comes Warrow on the helm, and you can see the bow team, they're just trying to get that bottom bit of the headsail down. Pretty hard when it splits like that to have any control. Someone will probably have to go up the rig. Curtis Skinner trying to grab onto it. David Turton up on the bow as well. Theo, the boat captain, trying to pull it down by the luff line. It's starting to have a little bit of traction, but they don't have much leeway there. But Stefan Racing, the boat in 80, they've had a fantastic regardless. Crosses the line. Fantastic. Can hear the supporters cheering from the dock through God Andrews, literally cheering on the dock as Stefan comes in here. And I do want to give a bit of a shout out to the entire crew, if I can get them on screen. Grant Warrington, David Turton, the navigator, he's doing his 7th. Grant Warrington doing his 29th. Peter Cosman, Xavier Doa, Brian Donovan, Michael Kennedy, who's Goober, Rice Layton, Adrian Seifert, Lisa Seifert, Curtin Skinner, Theo, Greg Torpy, Josh Torpy, Alexander Watson, Oliver Warrington, and Paul Wyatt. Congratulations for finishing the 77th edition. Here on screen we have Willow coming across, still looking sporty. I'm going to give them a clap. That was very, very, very well managed. As a sailor, you really have to be able to manage the changing conditions, and they did that perfectly, and they should be proud of themselves for the way that they dealt with that finish. Not to say that Stefan Racing didn't have a great race, but that just showed an immense amount of maturity on Jim Cooney and his team's part. And I'm going to wipe the camera again for you, ladies and gents, as we hang out here in Hobart. And I'm going to ask God Andrew back at the dock if he can see how far the other mini-maxis are away. I'm wondering whether they've got this breeze yet. I can see a boat out on this right-hand side, but I don't think that's alive. I think alive is still back and out of this pressure. This is unbelievable. Do you think that's alive there? Yeah, copy. Alive's coming into the finish. Perfect. All right, we're going to stay live, guys, and come to alive. Oh, gosh. Just in case you didn't know how wet it was out here, I look like I've just done an offshore race. False advertising. Thank you, Musto, for the kit and for keeping me dry. Oh, even the shoes. Yes, the shoes. I can definitely close this cupboard for you. Shilsey, look, I can do stuff too. Yeah. Shut. Good. Excellent. All right. Wow. Woo! Steve is a legend. This is the Hobart. What a legend. This man here. He said, "Fair." Shieldsy, was this on the brochure, mate? Were you ready?
Yeah, I expected this.
You expected this?
It's actually kept on saying west, it's northwest.
It's northwest, yeah, sorry guys.
And then it will, as the morning goes on, I think about 11 o'clock, they're expecting the wind to start clocking left and end up
all the way through to that south. Nor'wester, and the guys offshore have been in that nor, but south.
What will happen as it goes into the west, the mountain comes into play.
Copy.
And that really makes a real transition zone. If you're south down off Kingston or somewhere, it'll be southwest already, and it'll still be northwest here, and then westerly over the top of the mountain makes it all like
churn up,
just all
like a dog's breakfast.
Yep.
Ooh, okay, we're just going to take a little minute to have a breather. Oh my goodness, yikes! And we're going to have a little bit of a look at the tracker and check on all the boats. We might actually roll into an interview. I think that Marine is nodding. She's like, yes, please, an interview. I need a break. But as you can see here, looking down the Derwent, it is absolutely spectacular. And in the main file on the hard drive, there's an interview that I did with Rico last night. We were live for all of the other interviews. And I just think maybe we can play this interview live as well. Incredibly humble in defeat. It was absolutely beautiful, actually. Peter Harburg from Blackjack Yachting walked over and shook Rico's hand. They came 3rd and 4th on line honours last night. And we were live with Squark and Anthony Nossiter from Blackjack. We were live with Christian Beck from Law Connect. And of course, we were live with John Winning Senior, Ian Murray, Justin Schaefer, and a number of others that we ran into on the dock when Comanche finished on line honours. But we might roll into this interview with Rico just to give us a bit of a breather as we get ready for a live, the RP66 coming into the finish. Oh, you can hold this actually, and I don't have to. It's great. With your beer. Perfect.
Sounds good.
This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl on board Wild Oats 11 with Rico. Back in the race, mate, but maybe not the result you were after.
No, look, it was a fantastic race. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the Comanche guys did a fantastic job. They all did. You know, Law Connect were amazing. Blackjack did a wonderful job as well. We got a bit unlucky yesterday morning because sort of got left behind in a bit of a hole and some fog, and that was it. That was our race basically. But no, look, you know, well done to everyone. I think it was a great race, and we love being in the race. Obviously, it's a beautiful race, by the way. It was a fantastic Hobart to do. But it was just wasn't meant to be. So.
It wasn't meant to be, but you know what I'm loving is this sea of red behind us here, Rico. You definitely have the best cheer squad in Hobart.
Oh no, they do a great job. We've got the best supporters you could possibly ask for, and we're just super happy. And the great thing about the Oatley family, what they do is first, second, third, or fourth, they're still super happy to be part of it, which is pretty special in my books.
They're super happy to be a part of it, and the race, and our sport in general.
Yeah.
And I think we have to say big thanks to people who give so much to the sport, including the Oatley family, for what they do and what they bring. And and I I think that's important.
Look, I think it's important. All the owners of every boat in the whole fleet. I mean,
we don't have it without owners.
What they contribute to the industry and to everything is amazing in the sport. So, well done to all of them, I think.
100%. And on that note, I'm going to let you go and keep enjoying your race and being back in it after a little bit of a time away with your Wild Oats family.
Thanks, Nick.
Awesome.
Good on you.
We'll see you soon here in Hobart. More to come.
Cheers.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the finish line for the Rolex Sydney Hobart. This is one end, this yellow Rolex mark. That's actually the left-hand mark as you're looking upwind. This is the other mark, and we are lining ourselves up to be on the finish for the RP66 Alive. If you've just joined us, we just had a very dramatic finish between Stefan Racing, which is up here near Constitution Dock, and Willow, which is reaching around. They've got their headsail down. Willow actually passed Stefan Racing to leeward when Stefan Racing's J2, I think it was, absolutely imploded. And here we're crossing the finish line. We finished! We finished! There's the finish box just over here. Big shout out to everybody in the finish box who is volunteering and sport. What a magnificent community that it is. Our sport would be nothing without volunteers. Oh my goodness, now I'm getting emotional. Look at this great man in here, our volunteer. He comes out every year with us. Poor guy, first time he met me, he was like, nah, not going to help this chick. And now he's my father in Hobart. Thanks, David Chapman, for that, says Shieldsy. He's stuck with me now. Poor bugger. And speaking of David Chapman, he is on board Celestial TP52 with Sam Haynes. It's been a very close battle between Warrior 1, Celestial, Guelo, and Caro, and Quest, and Crush, and Patrice, and all of the TP52s. But look how breezy it is here on the Derwent as we move away from Constitution Dock. It just gets windier, and Shieldsy is doing a great job to line us up here. Here's the 66. They've got a J3, or square top J3 on by the looks. They've gone for a second reef minimum on their main. They've really powered down. I can see in the distance Moneypenny and URM are not far off. It actually looks like URM might be next. I can see a white hull. I thought Moneypenny had actually passed them, but that may have changed over in the transition zone between the offshore breeze and the inshore breeze here, which is west northwest or northwest. I stand corrected. I've been saying west, but my bearings are a bit off. It is very much northwest and absolutely honking. Fantastic. I just had a tracker update from God up in the box. Thank you, Andrew. It's very, very close between Moneypenny and URM, but it'll play out as they approach the finish. There was a big change in their distance from one another in that transition zone, as I mentioned. But coming right on us here on the bow is Alive, the RP66, which won on IRC overall in 2018. In 2020, they actually made it out of Sydney and did the Launceston race, the Launceston to Hobart race, and took line honours and a race record in that event. There's quite a few rock stars on board. Nikolai Sehested has flown out from Denmark to take part. He's the skipper of the Danish SailGP team. He's on board. Of course, Duncan Hine, the owner, and a number of other sailors. They've been sailing together for about 4 years, this crew, so they are well in tune with one another. And I will bring up the whole crew list for you because it's super important to me that we talk about the whole crew, because I've got it. We talk about the whole crew because it's not just the owner or the navigator. So Philip Turner's the owner. He is on board. I saw him on Boxing Day. Duncan Hine is the skipper. William Tiller is the sailing master out of New Zealand. Then Wouter Verbrack, the navigator from Vestas, which is quite possibly how Nikolai Sehested got involved. Philip Turner, as I mentioned already, Logan Anderson, Stuart Dodson, William Endan, Brad Ferrand, Shane Gaddis, Darren Twirler doing his 16th, William McKenzie, Josh Salthouse, Nikolai Sehested, this will be his second, and Sam Tiedemann as they come into the finish with a million reefs. Oh, and also a torn jib. You can see the back corner of their jib is also torn. Craziness out here on the Derwent. Absolutely brilliant. Philip Turner sitting on the back there. Nikolai Sehested standing behind the helm. Oh, he's actually up in front of the helm. We're scratching his head a little bit as to where this pressure came from, I think. But we're going to call the third mini-maxi into the line. This will be the 7th boat to cross the line in the Rolex Sydney Hobart 77th edition. 7th boat, 77th race. It's got to be something to say for that. 777! Alive, 66. It's just about to cross the line, and depending what's happening behind them, this could put them in a very good spot to be a division winner in IRC 0. We'll keep you posted on that. But a great race from the team on board Alive RP66. I reckon it's about 10 minutes back to URM. Unfortunately, don't have an interview with Alive before the start except for on board in our dock walk. So I can't throw to an interview there. But what I could do, we might get a little bit more vision of Alive here, and before we turn around to head back to the other mini-maxis, Stefan is just about to head into the dock, and we will do some interviews with them on the dock, but I don't want to miss live finishes either. So we might actually try interviews with some of these guys and then rip back out for the next finish, or what do you reckon, Shieldsy? Or we wait for the finishes, because it's not that all is probably a smarter idea. What do we reckon? Yeah, good. I need consensus on board. Yeah, I don't want to go down there too far. So I think what we're going to do, if everybody's okay with that, we'll stick here, we'll do live finishes, and we'll go and grab interviews when we can, and we'll make sure that we catch up with as many people as possible. I've got a feeling they'll be on their boats for a little while longer than we'll have to go in and out and in and out and in and out. Just going to wipe this camera. I think it is URM in the distance. Definitely a white hull. I will visual comms. URM. Perfect. URM definitely in front. Just got an update from the tracker. Looks like Stefan here will go and do their victory lap past the Taste of Tasmania. And here's the tracker on the screen. It is a little bit delayed. So Alive has finished. URM Group is just in front of Moneypenny. So there's your tracker there. So you can have a little bit of a look. And you can find the tracker and the current standings at rolexsydneyhobart.com. Alive just grabbing a few marks there. Oof, she's windy. Apologies if you've got a bit of wind noise, ladies and gentlemen, but that's the way it is. It is realistic. Willow, Alive, and will all come into the dock at a similar time. Beautiful. I think when we get too close to the dock, we actually lose reception. Let's slow down here, Shieldsy. Yeah, no, I think when we head closer to the dock, we actually start to lose reception. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a view of all of the people waiting here on the dock to cheer in Stefan Racing. Oh, and we've got a studio shot as well. Great job, Andrew. This is off our balcony at Somerset on the pier, and you can see you are a ripper, Andrew Snell. He's brought in a camera shot from off our veranda so that you can see Stefan Racing coming into the harbour. Beautiful. They will pass Law Connect. Thank you, God. And back to us now out on the water off from Constitution Dock. I will be any tick of the clock, as will Willow. We're going to try and do a finish for URM and a finish for Penny for you all, ladies and gents, and then we'll run in on the dock and get interviews. So hopefully you can forgive us and keep supporting and sharing our coverage, even though we're going to miss you in lifetime. We'll be just delayed live, and sharing our interviews really helps us to help spread the word about what we're doing, but also to help our sponsors who are helping us to make this broadcast happen. So thank you so much for all of your support. It does mean the world. There's URM in the distance. I reckon they're about 7 minutes away at a guess. Wendell in the frame there. Alive yet to drop a mainsail. Willow just about to come in. It's like they went for a bit of a reach around, Willow. They were loving the breeze, as am I. Though I am covered in salt. Good. Yeah. We might actually go back to the finish line just because our reception is tray crap in here. I think just because there's so many people standing on the dock, or whether there's a blocker in there for some sort of TV channel, perhaps ABC, they're standing on the shore though. We're just going to get ourselves away from that and try and keep our reception clear for you all. Which means we'll probably do interviews pre-recorded as well and just do these finishes live, but I promise you that we'll bring you as much content as we can as soon as we can. We're relatively quick to get it up now. Whistling on the helm. Even just this far away, we have much better reception. It's amazing. There's Jim Cooney up the back with his two sons. Gilmore. Whistling! What a finish! Are you going to go left or right? Backward, okay. Perfect. Oh, KP on the windward side. Josh McKnight in the middle on the pumps. DB just in front of him. Oi, oi, oi. I got salt in my eyeballs. Yeah, we just did our Derwent rip. I reckon URM's about 4 minutes away now. Yeah. Shieldsy will make sure we're there to get the finish. We're just hiding in underneath Constitution Dock. We like the flat water, we do. Just doing a full circle here of Willow, the beautiful Volvo 70, getting ready to head into the dock. It's ripping. How windy do you reckon it is, Shieldsy? 25? Here, I'll ask the guys. How much wind did you see on the dial? I need a wind reading. How windy was it? 25? Yeah, thought so. Thanks, guys. We're live when that jib popped. 45, 45 knots. Yeah, copy. Amazing. We'll see you on the dock. Hey, Jim. Good work, boys. Jim Cooney giving us a wave there. That was an epic finish. Stefan here, just coming into the dock. Big shout out to all my friends on Stefan. Love that crew. And don't you worry, we'll be in there very, very shortly to join the party. Probably got about 10 more minutes out here to finish URM and Moneypenny. They're actually on lay for the finish in a row. And I think we'll check those results on handicap in Division 0 as soon as we can. I'm going to have a look now actually and see what it looks like. I'm not sure if they will have updated in the last little while. There is nothing really because this is it. Sorry guys that this shot's not that exciting because as we head back towards the finish line, you can see that we are quite some way from Constitution Dock and there is nothing really in the frame here as we wait for URM and Moneypenny to come into the finish. I'm just going to have a little bit of a look at IRC Division 0 for you. No Limit has actually taken the lead over Moneypenny and Alive, but I'm not sure taking into account the finish in this westerly. No Limit could potentially take IRC Division 0. Woof! URM is maxing out here. They're just to the right of our boat as we are approaching on starboard tack. DB reckons they saw 40 knots, which is probably why it was head-sail breaking weather. Moneypenny is in the distance and they are heeled over big time. URM has no reefs. They're just monstering it. Neither does Moneypenny. I'm going to take a little opportunity here, ladies and gentlemen, to clean our cameras and to get ready because as soon as we turn upwind, this is going to get spicy. Woof! This is it, looking upwind, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of breeze. There's the finish line, just in the screen. 25 knots.
Right now.
Yeah, 25 knots right now. Oh, it's pushing 30 though. Plenty of white caps and the white caps are blowing off. But on screen you have URM starting to come into frame. They may be one and in. We're tacking, jibing, brother. The turn down wind's a jibe, right? And we'll wait for these guys to come to us. Whew. Just getting ready, trying not to pound ourselves too much. But in the middle of your frame there, if you've just joined us, is URM. No reefs. They're literally letting the corner of their headsail flap. Might have busted a batten up there actually. It's very floppy up the top. This is a norwesterly, west-nor'wester even at times. This breeze will continue to shift around to the left all day until it settles in the south for the smaller boats that will be finishing. The TB52s will all be in this afternoon. Can they make it before that southerly change? We'll see because it's quite strong this westerly. They're not really on lay, so Copy that. Thank you so much, Phil Clinton, for your comment. I've just received it from the God Box, and Alice T is on board URM. Love to give a good shout out to Alice T. There's also a lot of shouting happening back at Constitution Dock as the remaining boats come in. It's a good 30 knots over my shoulder now. You can see the wave tops blowing off. That's 30 knots. I think it probably did get to 45. DB wasn't lying. Shieldsy said no way, but I'm telling you now, it's pretty windy and instruments don't lie. This is insane. They've probably got another tack to do to come into the finish here. Thank you guys for your comments and for watching as we bring URM into the finish here. Wow. That was a lot breezier than I was prepared for. Shieldsy was ready, of course. Beautiful shot of Cradle Mountain in the background here. Mount Wellington even, you know, I'm a genius. Thank you, Shieldsy, for your correction, as always. URM coming into the finish. They're going to make it. I think they're going to try and laugh, or they're going to have a tack here. We're waiting and watching. They're going to tack. Anthony Johnson's URM group, they're laughing. They're just going to go to laugh. Nope, they're tacking. They couldn't make up their mind. Skipper Marcus Ashley Jones on his 18th Hobart. Anthony Johnson, David Johnson, Paddy Bannon, James Corey, Bryce Edwards, Phil Harmer, Peter Harris, Steve Jarvin, Moffy, Andrew Johnson, Nick Johnson, Philip Marshall, Aaron Ormanaki, Dick Parker, Ben Piggott, Alice Tarnaski, legend. Matthew Howe, he's off. Matthew is off. Ichiban, Joel Turner, and Jason Waterhouse doing his second. Awesome team on board. And they've made it across with full sails up and no breakages by the looks. Wendell's holding onto my back because it's pretty hard to stay on my feet here. Alice up the back, giving Anthony Johnson a hug. Marcus Ashley Jones still on the helm. Hugs aplenty. Great finish from the URM. Sustainable waste management, that's what we like to hear. Racing with a cause is always a good thing. There's Moffy. All good. Going for a tack. They'll get up in underneath Constitution Dock. And get ready to head on in to their fans, no doubt. And we're getting back into position to bring Moneypenny across the line. You can see them through the windscreen. Woo! Are you Moneypenny? Poo-poo, poo-poo, poo-poo. We are Moneypenny, exactly. Marine thinks we are Moneypenny. Excellent. But Moneypenny, I think, will probably sneak across the line here as well. Although, a late tack. I'll try and get Moneypenny on your screen here because we are quite a long way away. Just give you a quick dock shot back here, and perhaps whilst we're waiting for Moneypenny to approach, we can have a look at the interview highlights reel, which just shows all the interviews that we did before the start of the Rolex Sydney Hobart. We did 18 before the start. I think we did about 20 in the dock walk minimum. And so far, we've interviewed all 4 maxis that have finished. And of course, we will head into chat to the mini-maxis as soon as we are done with the live coverage. I'm just trying to get Moneypenny on your screen there. And if we are ready to roll with something, here is our interview highlights clip just to bring us up to the finish of Moneypenny, the RP69 in the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Are we ready? This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl. Feeling very tall this morning on Warrior One next to my good mate Clarky, David Griffith, Maddie Lyons and Alex Lyons, Seb Bomb, Annika and Tomo Thompson, Mr. John Winning, Daryl Whistling, and we're well on our way towards the start at 1 p.m. on Boxing Day.
Yeah, we're really excited to be in the race.
That's really cool. I'm really excited.
I wish you all the best.
Touch wood.
Where's some wood? I'm just going to touch wood for you down.
But that is, it's plastic
It's
wood.
laminate. Right, we need to find some actual wood. We'll bring you more soon from here at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia for our coverage of the Rolex Sydney Hobart 2022. This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl with my awesome friend Wendell, who's been taking photos for us. It's his first Hobart finish, baptism of fire, hey Wendell?
I know, I nearly fell off. At least I'm still on.
You are still here,
Thanks,
you are
Steve.
still here. Now, Steve has been amazing help, and what we're going to do is pass this camera back to me so Maureen can keep focusing on her B-roll, because we've got some amazing highlights reels coming for you today. Yes, she's nodding. We have some amazing highlights reels coming for you today from the maxi finishes and now the mini-maxi finishes, and on the screen is Sean Langman's Moneypenny. It's an absolutely stunning boat, and they will finish just behind URM. They've outsailed themselves, and depending on how this eventuates, they're putting themselves in a really good spot to win IRC 0 overall, and then depending on what happens with the TP52s, we might find that these guys, I'm tacking, jibing, we might find these guys win their division, and then to win the race, you have to win your division, is the old adage. To come first you have to finish. To win the race, you have to win your division. It's pretty simple in the Rolex Sydney Hobart and in any offshore race. Marine is cheering for Moneypenny. She likes it very much, I think. And I am going to bring up the crew list. Unbelievable cast on board. I'm going to call them cast because it definitely is a performance coming into the finish here. So Moneypenny had to retire with a broken head stay last year. The boat was bought from the US to Australia in 2018, and it was raced as Naval Group for quite a long time before it was returned to its original name that was Moneypenny. So Langman's 18-foot skiff crew are on board, but Langman's doing his 31st Hobart. The Navigators Matthews and his crew, Josh Alexander's doing his 19th, Jeff Beauchamp's doing his 24th, David Blanchfield doing his 28th, Harry Hall, Gordon Maguire doing his 22nd, legend, Reese Mara, Josh Probeski, Ed Powers, Brett Van Munster doing his 8th, and Keegan York. Full team of skiffies and yachting legends on board. Moneypenny will finish, let me count it, we've had Comanche, Law Connect, Blackjack, Wild Oats, then we had Willow, Stefan, URM, Stefan, there was one in between there, Alive, URM, and now Moneypenny will finish the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Kermandy on the boom there, that is a Tasmanian pub that Sean Langman actually owns. Just give this a quick wipe as they're coming into the finish here. You can see how beautiful that hull is as Moneypenny comes in to cross the line, and that will be a release. Look how windy it is as they tack. You can see the water blowing off the jib and the deck there. It is breezy here in the Derwent, and I can't see any other yachts in the distance. No Limit's got to be close. They're currently leading on IRC in this division, but we'll see how that eventuates. We are going to wrap this live coverage now, ladies and gentlemen, and go and crack on to some interviews on the dock. But it's been our absolute pleasure to be out with you this morning to bring you the live finishes of the maxis and the mini-maxis. Because I can say this morning because the maxis were this morning and the mini-maxis were a little bit later this morning. It's been a big old morning on the Derwent. But how's this breeze? Sean Langman on the helm. We'll see if we can get away from him before we cut to our intro reel. Gordon Maguire standing next to him. Jeff Batchup in the pit. They're bringing that headsail down now. Woo-hoo! We'll catch up with him later. Great job from the team at Moneypenny. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Please share with your family and friends. We appreciate your support. Powered by Musto on board the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania support boat. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. We'll see you very soon for plenty more coverage from the Derwent for the finish of the Rolex Sydney Hobart 2022. Clear.